I'm Old Head Ed.
And I'm Mr. Beleaf. And we like to welcome y'all to Barcodes. Barcodes is a podcast where we delve into the lyrics of your favorite MCs, verse by verse.
Each episode, we invite an artist onto the show,
break down their own bars, and give the listeners a deeper understanding of the meaning and inspiration behind their music.
From underground up-and-comers to established industry veterans.
We cover it all. So join us as we explore the art of MCing and the stories behind the bars on Barcodes.
Yo, it's Barcodes.
Barcodes in the building.
Yes, sir. I am Old Head Ed.
Mr. Beleaf on this side.
And we back at it. This is a podcast where we delve into an MC's verse. We get to find out what went into the conducting and the collaboration of thoughts that create a verse, and how it made it onto the page and all that good stuff. Yep. What inspired the lines. And this week's like no other week, or just like any other week. We have an esteemed guest, an esteemed MC, sitting down once again with us.
Yeah, this is the second.
It's got to be the second time around. Our people's close homie,
family, right here.
A man who wears many hats, and the bucket happens to be one of them. But he puts together events once a month in Fort Lauderdale. He's kind of like the Broward. The Broward version of what H and 4K and Lex and North are doing down in Miami.
Yeah.
At 10th Level Tavern once a month. La Plancha along with his cohort. Another dude that wears many hats, DJ XS. Shouts to him. Yeah, man. Who we got on the spot tonight, Beleaf?
We got Orion, aka Brass Balls, in the building, y'all.
What they do. Thank you guys for having me again. Bro, I love coming here, and I love watching what you guys do.
Appreciate it. Nah, and we appreciate everybody getting involved. I know, again, with all you got going on, you still make the time to make music, produce music, put together an event on a monthly basis. So for you to make the time to just, and you're a family dude too. So for you to make the time to come through and get into, and humor us and help the fan reach a better understanding of what the lyrics are.
Facts,
so round of applause to you, man.
Yeah. I love what you guys do, man, because it's like as an MC, you put so much time and energy to expressing yourself. And it's like sometimes you wonder, like, are people really like getting what I'm saying? So this is like a great opportunity to do it. And every time, like, well, this is the second time I'm here, but it's always a battle in my mind to, what song, verse do I talk about? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's all. We hear that. We hear that a lot. A lot of people that have come on the show, they said that's one of the hardest parts is going through your own catalog and trying to pinpoint which one you would like to unpack. And me and Ed kind of found that issue early on going through people's catalogs, so we just pushed it on them. We're like, yo, here, this is, you tell us which one you want to unpack, because we're not going to go through your whole catalog to try to figure that shit out. You know?
Well, you never know. You could be like, yo, we want to talk about this song. They're like, oh, really?
That one? Oh, man. Now I'm going to have to address that beef that I had, and I mentioned somebody's name in there.
Exactly. I got a ticket that night.
Facts.
Man. Fresh off the release of the latest efforts, the EP, the Brass EP.
No, bass. It's bass.
Yeah, man.
Yes, you're right.
And speaking about what we were talking about, that's what made it easier this go around. That I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna get a song from the bass EP. So there's only 6 songs on the bass EP. So I'm like, okay, this should be easy. and that was a mission too, but it was a little easier.
Was there a dartboard involved? Where you like?
I put my child on a spinning thing.
He was waving his arm around, and you're like, stop!
It lands on a limb.
Hope you got it in one shot.
What else are kids for, bro? So speaking of, what are we getting into today?
Yeah, what did you bring for us today, man?
So we're gonna dive into the track that opens up the album base, and it's Me Cago En Ti. It's a posse cut track because it's featuring Sweet Jesus, Punchinello, and the legendary Thurston Howell III.
Shouts, yeah. That's a thorough lineup.
Yeah, man, and it was produced by Name Brand, so rest in peace to Name Brand, one of the really fire gems that I had in the vault that he had blessed me with a long time ago. So yeah, man, wanted to tackle this one because this one's dope. This one's a dope one. I got a lot of things I could like break down with it.
Nice. Okay. But before we do that, I know Beleaf likes to ask a couple questions.
Well, yeah, I got one question that's just kind of like probably a different one than I normally ask.
Okay.
Just for our audience that are not really familiar with the Spanish language, what does the title translate to?
So Me Cago En Ti is kind of like not just Cuban, but I would say a lot of, I think Puerto Ricans use it too, and, Dominicans might use it as well. But Me Cago En Ti is kind of like, go fuck yourself, or, the exact, translation would be, I'll shit on you. Mm-hmm. But it just doesn't come off the same way. You know what I mean? Like,
D12
I'll shit on you.
D12 did do a song on that.
Yeah, the original Me Cago En Ti.
That was the original. I just wanted the audience to get
well, that's why we're saying, like, on the hook, I'm saying what you eat don't make me shit, and then Sweet Jesus is responding Me Cago En Ti. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Now, going to the original question, do you remember when and where you were at when you decided to write this, and what was the inspiration behind it?
Well, this was actually, I had this beat for like 10 years, bro. Like, honestly, like I like Name Brand gave me this beat a long time ago. It was supposed to be for a Smoke and Mirrors posse cut. It didn't ever come to fruition. This was probably the third verse I wrote for this beat because I lost the other two.
Wow.
And sometimes it works better like that. In fact, some of the bars that I remember the second verse I wrote for it, some of those bars went into the title track for my last album, Domestic Animals Attack. Specifically the part where I say, rip your fucking face off like Travis the Chimp.
Okay.
So I had already married that verse, or married some of the bars from that verse into that Domestic project. Animal. So I needed to write something new. And everything happens for a reason. And I feel like when I finally wrote this one, it had to be, I would say 2021 that I finally, I think that's when we recorded this track. So I wrote this song, I wrote my verse, and went to the studio that same week, or within the same 2 weeks that I wrote the verse. Went to UB studio, recorded it. Sweet Jesus came over to that studio that night, recorded his verse. Punchinello came over, recorded his verse. And then Thurston recorded it on his own because he was out in Orlando at the time. Or maybe he was out in New York at the time and recorded it out there. But either way, sent it to us. And that's pretty much how the whole track got done and shit. Like, the hook actually came about in the studio. Like, Sweet Jesus came over, had a rough idea of what he wanted to do. We bounced back and forth, but pretty much he executed that hook. I noticed, like, I needed to say what you eat don't make me shit, just because it was a little too much cluttered if it was the same voice.
Yeah.
His voice and my voice, the dynamics are very much different. So that's why you see me saying what you eat don't make me shit, or you hear me saying that, because I just sonically it made more sense.
It develops a contrast, you know what I'm saying?
Right, and it just sticks better in the ear.
Yeah,
you know.
Word.
So yeah.
Bro. Excellent shit. Well, I think that nails it. Let's get into the verse. You know the routine. You've been here before. 4 bars at a time. We'll have you go through them. After you recite them, we'll have you go through them and break down what each line means. And then Beleaf and I will jump in where we seem necessary. Maybe we got a question or where what we took from the line. So whenever you're ready to go.
No doubt. Rhyme great, translate my mind state. Orion, the intelligent primate. Define fate hidden behind drapes. I supply quotables to rewind tapes. Okay. All right, so this beat is at 107 BPM. When you're rapping at 107 BPM and you're trying to get down, you could either do 2 or 3 things. You know what I'm saying? You could go and not be so wordy with it, and kind of like less is more. Or if you do want to be lyrical, I think the key is delete or avoid words that aren't necessary. Okay. For example, I could easily say, I rhyme great. Translate my mind state. Orion, the intelligent primate. I define fate hidden behind drapes. I supply, but why would I need to put the eyes so much?
You
so delete the eyes, delete does as much as possible, ands, buts, thens, all that. Try to just condense, get that shit out so it makes sense with the flow pattern and the rhythmic pattern. That's first and foremost. So that I did a lot in this particular verse. So that's what I'm saying. I rhyme great, translate my mind state. Orion, the intelligent primate. I'm the missing link in this rap shit is what I'm basically, trying to fucking confidently say out here and shit.
The intelligent primate.
Yeah. Define fate hidden behind drapes. I supply quotables to rewind tapes. So, a lot of people will say that they're destined for greatness or whatever. And when I say drapes, it's just another way of saying curtains. So we're in show business. So define fate hidden behind drapes. Before you hit the stage, you're behind those curtains. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
I supply quotables to rewind tapes. Early on, I knew when I was going to release this album, I was going to make tape cassettes. That was always in the back of my mind. So that's pretty much what it's like alluding to there. Just kind of simple, straight to the point. The Def Jam for any blind date, a teenage mutant since 9/8. If I can't, who can inflate the crime rate? My plan, new brand, invade the tri-state. So the Def Jam for any blind date, you're deaf, you're blind. These are the senses we need, and obviously Def Jam being the label that they are. The blind date. This might be your first encounter with this music. So this is the Def Jam for this first encounter you're having with my music. A teenage mutant since 9/8. I'm out of hand with this. It's like I got dipped in the ooze when I come up with these lyrics and shit. 98 was the height of the Ninja Turtles a thing, and I think the absolute height climax of it. Like some may argue that even a little bit before that. I think by that point Ninja Turtles may have already been eclipsed by Power Rangers. I don't know. I'm not a Power Rangers kid, dude. I've never been a Power Rangers person.
Or like a Dragon Ball Z or something.
But really, like if I were to keep it real, like while I'm writing, I'm like blind date. I'm like that guy in the Instagram videos that makes fun of Eminem. Walking in his house like. Blind date. Rewind tapes. I'm that guy sometimes. So that's really how that came out. If I'm gonna keep it 100% real. But 98 is also like a year I hold in high regard. That is also the climax, in my opinion, of 90s hip hop. That was gearing into the 99, like raucous era was already in full swing.
I would argue 96. I think 96. If you look at all the albums that dropped in 96, I would argue that was a strong year. You know what I'm saying?
I think it was
good too.
I think it was a strong year, but 98 we had Big Pun, Capital Punishment. We had the DMX Dark and Hell Is Hot.
Bro, we're gonna have to sit down. We're gonna have to do this.
I'm not saying one's better than the other.
We're gonna have to start flipping these
out. I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm just saying I don't think 96 was like it. Like I think 96 was lit, the shit, but I don't think like after 96 it was done for
no I don't I'm not saying that either. I'm saying like the whatever like I digress but we didn't
reach the dark ages of hip-hop till 2003. I think maybe
I agree.
I don't know
like
the Triton era,
the Korg Triton.
A little bit after 50 peaked, and then that's when everything started changing.
There is some YouTuber right now like fuck you guys.
I grew up on that.
What are you talking about? T.I.'s trap music was incredible.
Which it was
dope. It was dope. If I can't, who can inflate the crime rate? All right, graffiti is a crime, right? At one point, breakdancing was looked at like, you can't break dance here. You're disturbing the peace. And, even rap, you can't be rapping here.
You can't play that on the beach.
If I can't, who can inflate the crime rate? When I say inflate the crime rate, I want to get people moving to get closer to hip hop, doing the elements. And if not just the elements, like if my music motivates you to go punch somebody that's been bullying you or stand up for something or stand up to someone, then that's what I'm trying to do.
Allegedly.
And it may translate into some sort of crime. I don't know. My Plan New brand invade the tri-state. So Name Brand made the beat. You know, this is a Name Brand beat. So that's kind of what I'm talking about there. Name Brand's being from New York and shit, has close ties. That's another reason why I wanted Thurston Howe on this shit, was because he's from Brooklyn. That's where Name Brand's from, Red Hook.
Okay.
So, that's why I wanted to put something there with the tri-state. And then also the other side of it is like my plan. This is a new brand. Every album is a chance at rebranding, in a sense of with my music and stuff, because I'm portraying a different story, a different catalog. So that's what I'm getting at there. Frecuencia, pollutant, mediocrity. Really wish rap was ruled by meritocracy. The down south anomaly. Temperature rising. Highly a prodigy. So like once again, like. If you look at that, I'm eliminating all the my's, all
the middle words.
Yeah, so frecuencia, pollutant, mediocrity. So frequency, pollution. All this mediocrity that we're hearing, not just in rap music, but just in music in general, is like frequency pollution. Really wish rap was ruled by meritocracy.
All right, that one you have to break down for me, because that's the one that, as I'm listening to the song several times, I'm like, I think I know what he's saying. It's something about a merit system, but I'm gonna let him like really get into it.
Yeah, a lot of times the dudes on top and the dudes that get all the glory and get all the promotions and stuff, it's a lot more than just dope music. It's they got favors going on, they got money being pushed behind them, or there's a machine behind them. So it's not necessarily that they're incredible or they're dope. It's more to do with all this other shit. So it's got little to do with the merit of their art and more to do with all these other things, Maybe it's just their image, or maybe they went viral because of some crazy video they did. So that's what I mean. I really wish rap was ruled by meritocracy, because it's not ruled by meritocracy. If it was ruled by meritocracy, I'd be platinum, and so would a lot of the niggas close to me. But that's my opinion.
Round of applause for that.
Yeah. And that brings me back to like one of my favorite lines. One of the lines that anytime I get into a discussion about hip hop and the state of it now and what it was before, and the what some people might consider the greats, solely based on their outreach as far as the numbers. I always think back to LP Company Flow, where he says when sales control stats, I place no faith in the majority.
Yeah.
And it's like, if it's a thing of like where people might not even have a sincere interest in what they're hearing. But when the last person told them, oh, this really sounds good, or they find themselves in a venue like, oh, this really sounds good, and they're like temporarily jumping like, yeah, this is really good. They'll buy they'll buy like the I don't know, single. They don't have singles anymore. But they'll go on iTunes and buy the one song, but then that's it. Like, and then that comes real big. But you really have no investment in this artist. It wasn't like they made you feel something for a moment, instead of you saying, yo, everything this person's done is dope, and I'm gonna follow them and I'm gonna continue to support. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like very short lived. So yeah, I think that goes to show you, and I think now the music industry now even helps push that forward, where it's like, you're gonna get one song really good from a person, then everything else is gonna be like we've discussed before. It's gonna be like, now you're gonna get to know the person outside of the music, and then that's what draws people in, you know, and then they become a fan because the person does something on a short, on a reel, or whatever. And by the way, they also make music, you know what I'm saying? But it's not like great. So
right,
and that's where those 360 deals come into play and all that shit. That's why they want all kinds of
they want to make money off of everything else they do that's outside of the music. Okay,
it's kind of like the other day, Whack 100 was on Drink Champs, and Nori was just like, Nipsey Hussle, man, I feel Nipsey Hussle is a legend, and Whack was just like, look, man, I got mad love for Nipsey. I knew him personally, but what are we talking about here? Like, why exactly are you calling him a legend? He's got one album. Dr. Dre's a legend. Look at that discography. Now, are you calling him a rap legend? Like, in what aspect is he a legend? You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's things you could say like, yo, the certain things he did for the community and everything is legendary. That's cool. But are we talking about rap legend? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are now the credentials?
It's actually an honest question.
And and he had a good point. He had a good point. Not on some hater shit. It's just it is what it is, homie. Like, even though he did do some legendary shit, like, but what are we talking about when are we just fucking randomly throwing out legends? Just like, you're known. People know you. You have a mural of you. Legend. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that happens though. You know what I'm saying? That happens on a regular basis. At least from the last 20 years that I've seen, you know, in hip hop, where a lot of people are crowned with the legendary title, who more or less doesn't have the discography to back it up or whatnot.
Yeah.
But I digress.
Yeah, it's also my shout out to Skilo. You know what I'm saying? Skilo, you know, people.
Yeah, he was a legend, yo. I wish I was
sleeping on Skilo, and I wish
he's a legend.
It was my wish. You feel me? Yeah, and then
down south anomaly.
Temperature rising, Hialeah prodigy. So the down south anomaly, because I'm from Hialeah, because I'm from Miami, and you know, being that the album is called Bass and everything, I am kind of seen as an anomaly. Not to like us and our scene, because we're directly in this shit.
Yeah.
But like even people within our own city that aren't like fully vested in our scene, will hear me rap and be like, yo, you sure you ain't from like fucking New York and shit, you know? And you know, the way you rap. So it's like, I'm the down south anomaly, temperature rising, Hialeah prodigy. I love Prodigy. I love Mobb Deep. I craft my shit behind them, you know?
I totally missed that the first time around. Honestly, I missed that.
I thought that was like an obvious one.
I mean, I thought it kind of plays on both things, because a Hialeah prodigy, like you're a
prodigy and then temperature rising, Mobb Deep.
Now, I get it now. Go ahead. But now you got to say it again, man.
So you know what I'm saying? The down south anomaly, temperature rising, Hialeah prodigy. Yo, the Infamous album has such an effect on me when I was a shorty, you know, growing up in Hialeah, and like just I craft my rhymes like honestly with like there's a Prodigy voice in my head a lot of times, you know what I'm saying? And also it's like we're known for being always in heat. You know what I'm saying? Like the temperature in Florida, in South Florida is always hot. You know what I'm saying?
There's no temperature cap. This should just keep going higher.
That's the low key Miami Heat shout out, you know?
Yeah.
Only the Lord knows whatever the forego. Role model meta easily force flows. I don't ever sweat the emperor's wardrobe when I was getting more head inside of my Ford probe. So only the Lord knows whatever the forego. So only God knows whatever to like leave behind. Whatever you're gonna actually
get rid of two other verses originally meant for this beat, and then settle on this one. Like you never know where
it's gonna go.
Correct.
Yeah, that was a shout out to Flip Mode Squad. Lord have mercy. I'm just kidding. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like is a little bit of that, and then the role model metaler easily force flows. So a metaler is somebody that deals with metals and you know. Like has a kinship to alchemy, you know.
Okay.
I'm a representative of la golden plancha, you know. So the role model meta easily force flows. You know, a lot of rappers might steer away from being a role model and shit. But I'm just trying to say in that line, like I'm willing to show I could be a dope MC to the younger generation type shit. I don't ever sweat the emperor's wardrobe. So the emperor's new clothes, if you know about that idiom and where that comes from, it's basically a old
bro
idiom.
ended up naked. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Because he's like, yo, I got this new clothes I'm going to try on. And he's like,
right.
Bro, you ain't wearing nothing.
But nobody wants to tell him anything.
Yes, because he's the emperor.
Nobody wants to tell him anything because he's the emperor, you know? So I don't ever sweat the emperor's wardrobe. I'll be willing to fucking say some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And not be caught up in that fucking phony windstorm and shit. When I was getting more head inside of my Ford Probe. So I had a 1989 Ford Probe in high school. You know, I was in high school from 98 to 2001. So, you know, that's a pretty fucking old piece of shit
Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
That car was a piece of shit, man. That car was ugly as hell. That car was like the color of a penny.
Fine
You know,
American engineering.
Yeah.
That shit was burnt sienna?
Yeah. It was bad, bro. It had all kinds of issues. And even with all that said, bro, like what that line basically means is like I was still pulling holes.
Yeah.
I was still getting mine, you know? And dog, like when I was in high school, shitty car, not a lot of money, and looking like when I was 16, when I was 16, I looked like I was like fucking 13 and shit, you know?
Oh, okay.
But I was still getting mine. And I was still pulling it off. And, you know, all that that's why I didn't have to sweat the Emperor's wardrobe. You feel me?
Yeah.
And then that's why the next line starts off with 89. Now, this is a tie back to what I say 98.
Okay, yeah.
So I inverted the numerology there
when it comes
from
to
98 to 89.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm referring to, when I say 89, I'm referring to the Ford Probe. So Ford Probe 89. Para siempre, buena gente, ¿qué te parece? So, shouting out the Ford Probe, the 1989 Ford Probe. Shout out to my brother Caesar. I inherited that car from him. And Para siempre, buena gente is actually shouting out Art Morera in a project that he put out that I really respect. That project called Buena Gente.
Dope.
It had a lot of local MCs on it. You were on it, right?
No, I wasn't, Art.
Art, bro. You got to do a Buena Gente part 2. But you know, Serum was on it.
They've gone on to do several songs on several projects.
I'm on the Vanessa album.
Yeah, there you go. That's all that matters. Yeah, so that literally,
which I am not on the Vanessa album.
See?
And he told me, he's like, yo, Ryan, I'm gonna shoot you some beats to be on my next project. That never came. That email never surfaced, Art. So but yeah, it was shouting out that, and I thought it was proper shouting it out actually, because of the fact that like this project bass, Brass and Silver Slugs, is very much like the whole purpose of the project was that, yeah, this is the majority of it is Brass Balls production, and the Silver Slugs is everybody I have featured on it. The project initially was going to be like a full length album, like, you know, I don't know, 15, 16 songs. And then I decided I'm going to chop it into small EPs. Okay. So that's why the song with Art Morera is not on this particular project, but it will be on the next one. Word. So yeah, that's what I was kind of shouting out there, and also, you know, shouting out like I chill with buena gente. I chill with good people.
Forever.
Yeah. ¿Qué te parece? Si no te gusta, oye, no te parece. Now, ¿qué te parece? Like, what does this look like to you? You know, it's basically what I'm saying. If you don't like it, and then don't show up. That's basically what it's saying. If you don't like it, then don't show up.
Okay.
You know? So it's parece, you could say it in two meanings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how does it look to you? And no te parece, don't show up.
And also the third is, because this is where I took it. Si no te gusta, oye, no te parece, meaning that if you're gonna act like you don't mess with what's going on here, you're probably doing it out of like it's not a sincere thing. I mean, everybody has their own opinion, but a lot of times when Spanish people go, oye, no te parece, it means that it's like what you're doing doesn't look good on you. So if you're hating on it, that hate don't look good on you. So that's where, when I listened to it, that's where I went, was that locale with the lyrics there. So if you don't like it, you know what I'm saying, you can not like it, but it's like, don't hate on it, because it shouldn't be anybody. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't look good on anybody when they hit. So no te parece, you know.
Yeah, and then it ties into nada con los peces, no hago rap por un cheque. So go swim with the fishes. So die and swim with the fishes. I don't do rap for a check. You know, and a lot of people that don't wear this shit right is because they're not passionate about it truly. They're doing it for a quick buck, or they're doing it because they want to be famous. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That shit right there, man. Shit.
Me cago en ti.
I almost plugged my project.
The bass off the bass.
I was like,
off the bass EP.
Yeah.
Orion. You hinted at the fact that there's a couple more things there's a couple more segments to this, the grand scheme of this thing. So you were saying free bass is the next one?
Yeah, man. Coming up with this next, going into 2024. You know, I'm gonna release free bass, so that'll be the next version of EP, and then the last one will be more bass. Although I may change the name, something else for bass, you know, for the last one, the third one, because it's got to be special. But definitely the next one that comes out is Freebase for all my crackheads out there. And
there's a bunch of people like old school hip hop fans that be like, what?
You got some fucking junkies right now. Be like, he giving out Freebase?
Tyrone Biggums in the comments.
Tyrone Biggums
he gonna be in the comments.
Where that Freebase at? I like it, dog.
Damn.
But just like the drug, ain't nothing free about it though.
Nah, that's it.
Ain't nothing gonna be free about it.
What's the medium that it's coming out? You're gonna do the cassettes again? You're gonna go to CD?
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely do cassettes again. I'm probably gonna do vinyl for bass as well.
Okay.
But I'll probably do vinyl, you know, as well. But I think I really like the tape medium as an independent artist. It's easier to carry around than a bunch of vinyls. And if I get home, you know, at a late hour and run to bed because I'm tired of shit and wake up the next day, I'm not freaking out that I left them in the car, you know?
Yeah,
because they're handcuffed to your fucking wrist.
Hence the handcuff.
That too.
You wake up and there's a fucking suitcase on your wrist.
You plan on implementing the handcuff with other things like your vinyl bag, maybe perhaps? I know you've left
I think
that
I
in a couple
should.
places.
You know. I've called this guy on. Yo, can you check the back?
See if my bag is
if
there.
you're still there, bro. See if it's there, bro.
Damn. That's Orion, aka Brass Balls. This is Barcodes. Make sure you follow Orion, Brass Balls 09
on IG. Yeah, so Brass Balls 09.
Orion Hip Hop on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Deep dive tape dash. Speaking of tapes,
that's right. We got I got the deep dive tape stash episodes that I do. I got a couple with the brother right here, Old Head Ed. We specifically go into tape cassette singles. Go check it out. I got a bunch of other things that I'm putting in the channel. I've been more active. 2023, I was way more active on my YouTube channel than in any other years previous. So I'm happy about that, and I'm motivated to, you know, at least put up 2-3 episodes a week going into 2024 for sure.
Especially you're already here. Just hop over to Orion Hip Hop, like, comment, rate, subscribe. Do the same for us if you're really fucking with it. I think the store's still open. Barcodes.
Yeah, it's
store.
still open.
Check it out. We got the hats, the gears, we got the coasters, the mugs. You know what I'm saying? You could bring some of Barcodes to the workforce. You know, sit there and, you know, by the water cooler while you're sipping on your morning coffee and hopefully finding that other hip hop person in your office. And then just kind of going back and forth about verses and shit.
And don't get it confused with any other imitation that's out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We are the original Barcodes podcast that break down bars. So just let y'all know. You know what I'm saying?
For real. Beleaf. Let's get into this track. Cago En TI.
Yo, rhyme great, translate my mind state. Orion, the intelligent primate. Define fate hidden behind drapes. I supply quotables to rewind tapes. The Def Jam for any blind date. A teenage mutant sent and invade the tri-state. Frecuencia pollutingly wish rap was ruled by meritocracy. The down south anomaly. Temperatures rising, highly a prodigy. Only the Lord knows whatever the forego. Role model method that easily force flows. I don't ever sweat the emperor's wardrobe. When I was getting more head inside of my Ford Pro. 89 para siempre buena gente. ¿Qué te parece? Si no te gusta, oye, no te parece. Nada con los peces, no hago rap por un cheque.
Just how deep is shit get? Deep as the abyss, and brothers is madness.